look at the Nosh grocery brand. We've been doing this a lot. Its failure and the money owed to its staff. Well, one of its branches is reopening in Auckland tomorrow. Well, kind of. A lot of things are different, though. A new name, owner and business model. But over the past week, we've learned there's some eerie similarities between the old Nosh and what's now being called the Grocer's Market. Now, as Nosh was struggling to stay afloat, owner Jonathan Denise convinced staff to keep working without pay by saying he'd sell his house if he had to. Now, the Grocer's Market owner, Aaron Drever, is convincing workers and suppliers collectively owed more than $1 million to get back on board with the same promise. Zach Fleming went to find out what Aaron Drever hopes to do differently from Nosh.
It's Nosh, but not Nosh. The same Dominion Road location with the same fittings, a Nosh store manager handbook is even being used as a guide. But this Nosh has a new name. It's the Grocer's Market.
We have to make this work. We've got no alternative. We need to make this work.
That passion from owner Aaron Drever. If his name sounds familiar, it's because he made headlines for having the worst disciplinary record of any real estate agent in New Zealand. He was stripped of his licence in November last year. So this is a second chance, and a lot of people are relying on him. Mr. Drever bought Nosh's former Mount Eden store a month after it went into receivership in July.
I don't have any grocery or retail experience. The brand itself, when I first investigated, I thought was very good. I used to shop here. I was a Nosh customer, and I liked the Nosh experience. It wasn't until I got involved I realised how spectacularly the thing did fall down.
Do you regret buying it?
No. It's been stressful.
No grocery experience, but attempting to resurrect a failed grocery store that, in his own words, burned everyone involved. More than 100 former employees of Nosh's 6 failed stores are owed more than $300,000, and suppliers possibly more than $1 million. Several workers have told Checkpoint one of Nosh's owners, Jonathan Denise, convinced them to keep working on a promise, even after the stores closed.
He said, in his own words was, even if I have to sell my house, I will do that to save the company.
But he never did, because Mr. Denise doesn't own a home to sell. His family home, with a 2014 valuation of $1.4 million, is now in a trust. Now, Grocer's Market owner Aaron Drever has made the same promise.
I personally guaranteed all the supply agreements that I will personally honour them. And that means having to sell the house to make that work. That won't be a problem.
So your house will cover everything?
Oh, yes.
And just like Nosh, the workers believe him. Mr. Drever's new workforce includes a third of Nosh Mount Eden's former staff. People like new store manager Andreas Latore from Colombia. He was Nosh's deli manager. His wife also worked at Nosh. They're owed more than $6,000 by Jonathan Denise. Andreas remembers that meeting with Mr. Denise.
They lied straight in our face because from the time they bought Nosh, the company just started going down. Providers just didn't get paid. Then obviously they stopped supplying us. We were just selling the things that we had in the shelf. But every single week, they were coming to us and they were saying, don't worry, this week we are getting money.
But today we know none of that ever happened. So why does Andreas have faith in Aaron Drever, who's essentially making the same promises?
Because some of these good people I met at Nosh are believing now in this project and are now working here. And it's people I really trust. Then I met Aaron. And doesn't matter what you read in the media, I trust the guy.
Ali El-Mahim, a Palestine-born refugee hired to stack shelves, told me the same thing. He trusts Aaron Drever. But trust doesn't pay the bills. So how can Mr. Drever guarantee this isn't Nosh V2?
One of the managers that came on board was owed $55,000. So that's a lot of money.
So these kind of people can't take any more heartbreak, right?
No, they can't.
So can you guarantee then that they're not going to go through any more heartbreak?
They will be paid.
That guarantee is, remember, his home in Glendine. But it's not a written guarantee. He's confirmed that it's not in employee contracts. It's simply his word, a promise. And Jonathan Denise has taught us promises can be broken. But both Ali and Andreas say they believe in Aaron Drever, despite his disgraced real estate past.
I think everyone deserves a second chance. I could have steered away and just gone off into the hiding, but I've decided that no, we want to make this work, and that's exactly what we've done. We're confident we can have an opportunity to rebuild my commercial reputation. I can't fail at this, because if I fail at this, then I will completely be destroyed. There'll be 2 careers that I've mucked up.
Grocer's Market will officially open tomorrow. It's slightly different to what Nosh was, in that it stocks high-end and low-end products and sells more than just food. Aaron Drever says he is 100% confident he will succeed where Nosh failed.
We've cross-checked, double-checked, priced us, made sure we've got budgets, haven't made commitments we can't deliver.
43 staff are counting on him being right. For Checkpoint, Zach Fleming.
This story was shot and edited by Nick Munro.